In the crypto lounge with a chart so wild, we're dropping beats and rhymes and we're not for mile. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're breaking it down. In the crypto lounge where the markets have abound. Crypto lounge, daily live stream, market analysis, breaking news, it's a dream. We're dropping knowledge, we're dropping bars. In the crypto lounge where the beats are hard. From NFTs to DeFi, we're keeping it real. We're dropping knowledge, and we're making it feel. From bull to bear, we're always on the grind. In the crypto lounge, where the market's never blind. Crypto lounge, where the toll lounge, where the market's never blind. Crypto lounge, daily live stream, market analysis, breaking news, it's a dream. We're dropping knowledge, we're dropping bars. In the crypto lounge, where the beats are hard. We're dropping knowledge, we're dropping rhymes. In the crypto lounge where the future shines.
All right. I think we got some feedback there. Welcome to the show. Hope you guys are doing very well. Got a little feedback right there. Hopefully you can hear me. Another hand clap. Where is there we go. I'm a little disheveled today. Things aren't I got everything just not very organized very well, but I hope you guys are doing very well today. I had LMFG in the back. I don't think his audio, it says you're muted, brother.
Yeah.
Oh no, there you go. Got you, man.
I always muted off. So.
Okay. I'll just making sure, man. Want to make sure we do the cloud thing. I didn't think I was going to actually be live because I'm still getting some fluctuations. I guess I'm being throttled on a Cloudflare. Thank you, JR. I appreciate you, brother. What's your take on this? We're going to get into this, man. This bottleneck that occurred, this bug, essentially is what Cloudflare is saying. They're apologizing profusely. Big hiccup this morning. I didn't see anything. Of course, I got up a little late, but did you have any issues online, getting on X and things of that nature?
Yeah, and definitely on Twitter, any spaces or anything just get knocked right off. And some
really
didn't see other people. And yeah, it was weird. I didn't really go around, but anything, just checking out charts and stuff, there was no issue.
Yeah, my streamer, it's a browser streamer, so I couldn't get on. It was saying I was offline, so it came on about an hour ago, so it worked out. So we're here, and again, hand clap to you guys as well. Hope everybody's doing good. We got a lot to talk about today. Definitely going to get into that. Trump is getting beat up again. This Republican out of Georgia, man, she's going hard on Trump. And, we need to keep his mind clear because he has a lot of, crypto things that he needs to get done as well as other things, a lot on the stove for the president. And he's getting backslapped by people in his own party. Hopefully it doesn't throw him off. We know Paul Atkins is doing great. Crypto is off the list. LMFG, what you think, man? We're finally getting off that list. Now, I will tell you there's good and bad here. I think we still need great oversight, but at the same time, off of the actual crosshairs, if you will. We'll get into that too. But what's your take, man? I know you probably heard that too as well.
Yeah, man, that's what's needed. Again, it's just these politicians just dragging their feet, and it's the banks controlling them. They don't want this yet. Yeah. They want to get their bags totally built and their networks running first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it's ugly.
No, I agree. I love this. This headline, it says AWS outage is proof that a decentralized web isn't just desirable, it's essential. Welcome to the show, Tracy. Hope you're doing good today as well. The AWS out now, Cloudflare, we're going to get into this, man, because I did see a post from CZ right in the middle of this. I think when that was happening, and he was saying blockchain is still live, even though you had those outages. Blockchain still runs. Now, I will tell you, blockchain is dependent as well. So I don't know if you want to have a take on that as well, brother. We haven't really seen that happen. But as far as blockchain, do you think it could ever be affected, on a global standpoint when it comes to outages of this nature? or is it a separate entity? What's your take on that?
Dude, this is right up my alley too.
Yeah, that's what I wanted you to take.
No, I would say I would put, small stuff on there. I would have internet usage on my small units, but I would still do private point-to-point circuits, clear channel, DS3s, and DS1s even, but private, and you run the blockchain there, and then you'll only lose your remote nodes, whether it be the stores, like think of Home Depot. They build their own network, and like I said, you put out a proof of authority network out there, and you're in. Or your stores can be on the internet and have backup 56K circuits, and at least all your buildings still go through. I mean, really simple.
So you have fail safes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see. Like I said, I build critical redundancy networks, and I just can't see this shit going down like this. Somebody did something wrong building it out. I don't like it. Something's wrong.
The CEO, he's, apologizing, obviously. We'll get into it because there's some nuances there. Some things I want to talk about because I think we need a remedy there. And we saw AWS, recently, same thing. So it's not good because these systems are obviously, they're going to need to be upgraded. You have a shortage in GPUs as well. I know that's an AWS thing, and they had to clear a lot of monies because it blows up, So we'll get into that, but let's go and get into the market, LMFG, because it is the market, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Interesting stuff. Now we're definitely going to get me off the screen here. So what's your take, bro? Let's go ahead and pull Bitcoin because it is a focal point of the discussion here. Now we did see it go below 90. Now I know last week we were talking about this, and I think you were at 90K, right? I think I was probably a little bit under that, but I think you said it at 90K. It did hit that floor, bro. We breached that floor. Now we're back up, but I have to tell you what's going on, Selma. Welcome to the show, guys. But I have to tell you, bro, we're going to be looking at some stock market numbers, and it's not good. And a lot of people are running to crypto right now because of what's going on in tech. But when you're looking at the Bitcoin price point now, 93, we're climbing back, pretty briskly. Is it sustainable, LMFG? Because we're on the hour chart right now. We're still down. But as a 93K, approach up to 94, this money obviously is coming from the ETF vehicle. It's going back up where it should be going. What's your take? Is it a sustainable march upward? Because of what I'm looking at in tech right now, I think probably at the actual bell, probably going over the actual midnight hour, we're going to go back under 90K. What's your take?
Yeah, I see it too. I don't know though, man, because there's just too much stuff. Like all the ETFs are going to come out over it. Yeah, I think today another XRP one came out, and I think a bunch of others are ready to go and over the next couple of days. So I think this is pricing in that we're not going to get a rate cut in December. You've seen the stock market went way down too. So yeah, they're already getting ready for no rate cut in December. And that's the only thing I can see here. And then, and again, that it's that psychological thing. Once it goes under 90, you're going to see 80K in the following week.
Yeah. We were talking about that last, me and you, the last 4 weeks, about this barrier, this 90K barrier. We went under it, So you're saying basically these non-rate cuts, the non-existence of rate cuts in Q4. Right. It's already being baked in the cake, right? This is what we see in the stock market. This is the movement. I know the AI sector, the tech sector is bleeding really bad, bro. We'll get into that. JR says exactly. They priced it in for December interest rate decisions. Okay. You know what? I don't think they're very happy, JR, because it is bloody red. In fact, let's go ahead and march over to that real quick. Just because it's relevant, right? It's relevant.
What'll really crack me up if he comes out and drops it a half a point. Yeah.
Well, here's, I don't know, bro. I don't know. JR says BTC may not recover above 100K. Yeah, we're at this. Let's take a look at this, guys, because S&P 500 down 16. Did claw back a lot, guys, but the Dow Jones is still down 300 points. The tech sector, NASDAQ, Magnificent Seven, all down over negative percentile ranges. You have NVIDIA, almost 2% down. Tesla, almost 2% down. Amazon, almost 3% down. AMD, almost 4% down, right? Google is clawing back a little bit of the losses, but you have Microsoft, 3% down, and you have Meta, almost 2% down. These are the big boys. And some would say this is what's holding up the stock market. And that translates to crypto buys as well on the top, Bitcoin, things of that nature. But when you're looking at the actual futures, LMFG, what's going on in Japan is phenomenally bad. You know, this thing was down almost 1,200 points. It is clawing back, but as you see, the futures do not look good. So when we're talking about it, and by the way, for those of you who are looking for mortgage rates and good, car loan rates, loan rates, and, in the private sector, retail sector, 10-year is marching back up. It is up again. Not good, right? 30-year yield is trying to march back up to 5. So as we segue back to Bitcoin, LMFG, it just does not look good, brother. It just does not look good.
Not at all. Well, I don't know what's this kind of. You're seeing the housing prices diving now all over the country because of these interest rates. There's nothing you can do. I mean, how are you going to buy something? And I don't know. Ugly.
Well, the sellers are really losing their buns. I'm telling you, some of us says that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, big time. Just here in my neighborhood alone, like I said, a house just went up for sale for $305,000, and he's probably lucky you could put it up for $270 today, and it's only a month or two later. 3 months later.
No, absolutely, it is. It's bizarre. Welcome to the show, Mom. I see you there. Let's see. JR says exactly. It's all priced in. Absolutely. BTC. Okay, we got that one. Selmo says no rate cut. And with the end of the year profits being taken and no Clarity Act getting signed this year, whoa, maybe bull run next year. So, Selmo, you don't think we're going to get that Clarity Act? That's interesting. That's something that Brian Armstrong, which is one of the CEOs of Coinbase, the CEO of Coinbase, he's basically saying this is going to happen. He's personally overseeing it, apparently. And he says we're going to get that in December. This is what he's saying, Semo now. Semo says no Clarity Act. And I kind of agree with you, bro. I don't think they're going to be able to make a decision to come to a consensus because there's still a lot of things that the Senate has put in place that a lot of senators, congressmen, they don't really, they're not aligned with what the Senate has done. So, especially when it comes to those AML requirements, KYC requirements, things of that nature. So, we'll see. JR says it is orchestrated. And he does think that we're going to get the Clarity Act real soon. We need it. We better get the Clarity Act because a lot of it rides on that clarity, guys, especially. But a lot of great things did happen within the last 4 days. Currently, we're looking at Bitcoin 93. It's trying to get back up to 94, but I got to tell you guys, maybe a dead cat bounce. We're probably going to go back under 90K over the nightfall. Welcome to the show, Rami. But we did get some really good buys, and a lot of it is ETFs. And we're going to switch over to that particular situation, and we'll share this tab here. Now, ETF inflow, it's still down across the board. But if you go on Arkham, you could really see that there's a lot of ETF inflow volume that's coming in, but the selling LMFG, the sale pressure is so high, the actual incoming inflow, it's not even really putting a dent into what's going out, brother. And I posted this. When we have this much sale pressure, what's coming in is completely being decimated, and it's not even registering because you're looking at the net flow, and this is registered, and this net flow on a negative standpoint is $500 million, guys. So when it comes to the ETFs combined. Now, we're talking ETH and BTC combined, guys. So the inflow, it really doesn't matter. So people who are buying and using these vehicles, those buys are very empty. LMFG, maybe I'm too bearish on this, but the ETF vehicle, the floor is still strong. But we did see that floor get breached Is the ETF, can we depend on this to keep us in the 100K range?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And I think a lot of this, the outflows, and it's a shame because it's a lot of the retail, they call them paper hands, right? People just don't have that patience to wait. And a lot of the people, you got to think about all the people that bought this at 115 to 120 just 3 months ago. And now they're looking at 100, and some of them are like, oh, I'm cutting my losses, I'm out of here. But that's the retail.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
the black rocks that are dumping it at huge volumes, right? Or your whales, they dump it at huge volumes, drops the price, they get rid of the retail, and what do? They buy it right back in, slow but sure. They drag it back up. That's probably what's bringing it up now to 93K. Well, you big boys.
Yeah. The IBIT, it was that BlackRock. Wow. Over $500 million. I think they sold one of the largest, I think in a single day. They breached a record.
In one day.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess what? They got that cash sitting on the side, probably making 4% interest daily, and they're ready to put it right back in.
Yeah. Well, you did have Michael Saylor's outfit as well. By the way, Michael, did he get ousted? I don't know. There was a tweet across the board on X the other day. It was a fictitious tweet, but I think it's a precursor. I think if this thing goes below 80, he maybe ran out of the place, and he isn't the largest shareholder anymore because he's been converting that into Bitcoin. But I will tell you this, Michael Saylor's days as the front runner, because I think the shareholders are pretty pissed right now. They may be numbered, but I don't think he's ousted at all. But I digress from that. Let's go ahead and move back to the chart. Now, we'll get back to Bitcoin here in a little bit. Currently, you're looking at Ethereum, which did go below 3K LMFG. I wasn't predicting that, because of the robust nature of the DeFi that's splurged all across this particular chain. But we did go under $3,000. It is down almost 10% on the 7-day period, just like pretty much all alts. I think the altcoin that got hit the hardest, I believe, is Cardano. I think it's still down almost 16% on the week. I believe so. Yeah, and then you have Hedera as well. And that's a shame because you did get the Hedera actual ETF. And we did get the Solana ETF. XRP, $2, getting really close to $2.20. They're down 8% as well. BNB still below 1,000. So we did get below 1,000. I think it got really close to $890 as well, down 3%. The Solana thing, let's go ahead and get into the Solana thing because the Treasury started selling Solana. Did you see that, brother? The Solana Treasury, essentially.
Yeah, that was. I just went to go like point on your graph. You can see that big red candle on the left hand side. That was them.
What is the other? Look at the trajectory, and this is all the way back to November the 10th, right? And you can just see this downward trajectory all the way to up to this point. You did get some. I think it went all the way down to $128. A lot of people on X are saying Solana is going below $100. Now, when these blockchain detectives were tracing this back, they were going back to the Treasury, dumping. That is, why would they actually be doing that, LMFG? Are they just trying to save those, encapsulate those profits because they thought it was going to go below 100? I'm not too sure. Was this a DAO thing? I don't know. It was very strange. What's your take?
Yeah, real strange. Or they're just trying to bag money to hold the project up going forward. Yeah. I don't know. I
think you're right. I think they were trying to capture the most before the dump.
Money on the sides, and then they can keep paying the developers and all that, and any projects maybe. I don't know what they have for funds, like grants. The Solana Foundation have grants. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I know you have that with Cardano, but I don't know if they're built like Cardano, in that right, essentially. But yeah, that's a good point. I think they were basically trying to capture, some good price points, some good funds before it went below 100, but it scared the crap out of the investor base. The community was freaking out about it. And I totally get it. Fed Chair Barkin agree with the Powell December rate cut, not foregoing conclusion. So we did get this is 37 minutes ago, this particular alert. So Fed's Barkin, he agrees with Powell, guys, that a December rate cut is not a foregone conclusion. So we have another Fed chair coming out, not chair, but a federal member of the Fed board. I'm sorry, saying that we're probably not going to get a rate cut. So listen. Yeah, I think that's why the stock market, why the tech sector is so rigid at this point in time. Now, you see Bitcoin moving up. A lot of times when you see the rigidness in the stock market, especially with this tech bubble that's basically rupturing before our very eyes, they're going to run to Bitcoin. They're going to run to Ethereum. Those ETFs are going to start bubbling. That is usually what happens. But I don't think it's going to be as robust, because of the weakness when it comes to the economy, because of the weakness when it comes to the banks, because of what's going on with Trump and all these different tools and levers that he's trying to pull to stimulate the fourth quarter. It's a little different, LMFG. A lot of dynamics here that we have going on, especially on a geopolitical basis. We still really, and Scott Basin basically said this over the weekend, there is no officially signed trade deal with China. There's just a lot of agreements, but nothing has been officially signed. So a lot of that is still in limbo, brother. And when it comes to the actual soybean situation, which is a huge deal for the country, for the farmers, the purchases are minimal. What's your take, bro? Because a lot of this does factor into the price points, not only with the stock market, but crypto, Bitcoin. Bitcoin leads the actual show. As you can see, when it went below 90K, altcoins started bleeding very, very profusely, guys. So you're looking at $140 actual Solana price, did claw back from 128. How long does this hold, brother? And when it comes to the geopolitical side of it, the trade deal with China, that is not solidified, LMFG. I think it's just optics at this point in time. And I was surprised that Scott Basin actually said that over the weekend, that it is not a signed deal. I think it was good for this, full disclosure, transparency, but this kind of bled over into a bloody market.
Yeah, not pretty, man. Again, we're on such uncharted waters. It's crazy. And I don't know how they're going to get this Clarity Act done, because I think there's been so many changes, and I know Armstrong was all on it, and then and like you said, now you got this China deal, may not be, it's not going to be 100% like Trump was saying it was going to be, they'll buy half our soybeans or something. My understanding, they got more soybeans than they know what to do with. It's ugly.
Well, think about the Argentina deal that China made with. They're buying. They already made a huge deal with Argentina. So, I don't understand how this is going to help. But I digress. Let's get back to Bitcoin, because I want to get back to what Arthur Hayes has said. And there's a lot of news dropping. We're going to get into this as well. We have more Epstein files that are, did you actually see the one email that stated that Epstein had something to do with the creation of Bitcoin? Did you see that? Apparently he funded the creation. I mean, it's some crazy stuff going on. But when it comes to that, that's pretty wild to even think. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But apparently they're going to be voting on the release of these files. I can care less about these emails. Honestly, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I can care less about it, but it's a big deal. And apparently there's some Bitcoin discussions in these emails, and Epstein and his brother, apparently they funded this stuff. I don't know how true it is, but it would really be a big development if we found out that Mr. Epstein, during his time alive, actually back in the day, had a lot to do with Bitcoin. That would be very interesting. So very interesting situation. I want to get to Arthur Hayes though, because this is what he's saying about Bitcoin. And I want to see if you agree with Mr. Hayes here. Let's run it back.
Japan, the new prime minister, I can't pronounce her name correctly, so I'm not even going to try. She is talking about printing money to help households pay for goods and services because of the high inflation that was caused by the printed money of the previous administration, who she loves, Abenomics. So they're printing money in Japan, and then the ECB is going to have to print more money to save the euro. So again, all around the world, the politicians are going to print more money. And so I see it as a completely different scenario than, let's even talk about 2021, when Jerome Powell was talking about tightening credit, when every central bank was tightening credit because of inflation. We are in a scenario where the politicians around the world, regardless of where you live, are talking about spending more money without raising taxes. And so that's why I believe that this particular cycle will extend. I think it's going to extend into 2027, 28 time period. But again, who knows how long it will go for. But as long as the politicians are going to print money to hand out goodies to people to support them, we're going to keep going higher as a crypto ecosystem.
Now, do you agree with that? And I told you guys that the Japan thing is crazy, and that's going to be a mass cascade across the board. This printing, this fiat printing, they're killing fiat, essentially. What's your take on what Arthur said? Because he says this is very bullish for Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah. And like I've been saying too, once that money printing goes on here, I can see a lot of money going into Bitcoin. Yeah. And they're doing it in all the other countries. They're already starting. So, I mean, he may not cut the rate this December, but let's see what happens in January, you know?
Yeah. Ooh, man.
So we got to keep on kicking the can down the road and waiting, you know? That's crazy.
We're running out of road. We're right. There's no more road.
The can's gonna go off the cliff. Don't tell me that.
I think we're getting pretty close to the end, you know. And then for you flat earthers, you know, if the Earth is flat, we're getting pretty close to the edge when it comes to this damn can. I don't think we can kick it any further, but I got to tell you, we're going to be looking at a hyperinflationary situation coming soon. Then what happens to crypto then? That's a very interesting story. What happens to crypto then during a hyperinflated fiat moment, which is where we're headed? You just heard Arthur and what he's saying, what's going on in Japan. So we're going into a hyperinflationary period in the next couple of years if they do all this money printing. So what happens to crypto? What do we pair it to? What does Bitcoin pair it to? Does it get paired to gold, commodities? Do we go into a barter situation to where whatever is worth anything, Bitcoin is going to be leveraged against the pair to and ETH as well, but particularly stable coins. What happens to stable coins during a hyperinflationary period? These are very interesting questions, and this is where we're going. So again, I think crypto wins in that particular scenario, but I think the pair is lost, and that's your fiat pair with stable coins. And that is going to be the question. What happens there? So liquidations. LMFG, we are red, brother. Now, in the past 24 hours, over 155,000 traders were liquidated, guys. Total liquidation, $694 million. The largest one was on Hyperliquid, which is up, by the way. I think that was only a particular coin that was up, token, I'm sorry. BTC USD value, and that was the pair, guys. $21 million is going to be that single liquidation. Amongst the many LMFG, this people are still playing the game, and this adds to the volatility, unfortunately. But people are still going to play this game. What you take? Crazy numbers.
I don't get it. As volatile as this is, and I read the comments on YouTube. I go back and forth every now and then. Somebody says, "Yeah, they're getting ready. They're piling up their losses." Yeah. You figure BlackRock, I mean, they may not use FIFO, first in, first out. It could be first in, last out. So everything that they just bought at 123, they dump it at 120. And now they got, $50 million in a loss on taxes this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure something's not right.
No, it's not. Exactly. I don't know who's doing the math. But I'm just going to leave it at that. That's some funny. There's real math and then there's this fictitious math that if you keep repeating it, it becomes the truth in some people's eyes. So it's interesting. Here's Arthur again. Here he is again with these quotes. It just depends on what you believe in, right? Arthur Hayes, BTC could first dip to 80K. Between 80 to 85 is what he's saying. Then rip all the way to $250,000 If the Fed, here's the if the Fed fires up the money printer, I don't know, brother. So the dependence of this great surge in Bitcoin price depends on the Fed's printing money. I don't know, man. I don't like their recipe, brother. I don't like their recipe. So as we get back to the market here, I just don't like that recipe. If that's what it depends on, we're screwed. That's just my take. Talk me off the cliff. I mean, because that just puts us in a hyperinflationary pattern. And I don't think the economy needs that. I don't think that benefits anything, especially the stock market. The money becomes frivolous at that point in time under an hyperinflationary pattern. So, and that's what money printing is going to do. You see what's happening in Japan. Look at the stock market. It does not like the solutions. Okay. So Solana, $141. It did creep back up. Tron, 29 cents. You have Dogecoin still kind of fluttering at around 16 cents. We talked about ADA, which is down a lot. 47 cents, ADA, LMFG. We were just looking at this at 80 cents, pushing almost $1, a complete dollar, complete decimation. A lot of unhappy campers. Charles Hoskins, he was over the weekend. He's been talking, he's been holding some spaces, right? About midnight. No one cares, apparently. He's getting hit hard, but after a couple of shots, he really didn't give a damn about it, right? I know you're an ADA buff, man. What's your take? Or are you still bullish?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, actually, and it's pretty wild. My buddy, I told you, he pays for these guys, and I think it was Billy or Brown, but saying sell ADA, sell Hyperliquid, sell Solana, sell BNB. And that was the alert he got just the other day, saying to sell all of this stuff. And some even losses. So I'm not sure where these guys are. I guess they're thinking Bitcoin's going to 80 and everything else is going to bleed another 15, 20%.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll let you know when they get an alert next week or next month saying go back in. I don't know.
You see what JR said? He said, I don't like Charles Hoskins. He's kind of a whiner. Yeah, he's getting hit hard, man. He's getting hit really, really hard.
He's a whiner. He's cocky. He's kind of like Trump.
Yeah.
But we got to realize he's all about the cryptography and blockchain technology and what it can do for the people, by the people, bank the unbanked.
Yeah.
I love that part of him, man. As cocky as he is, let him. He's a good guy to have in this space.
Yeah, very true. No, I don't have any thing about breaking news, man. Breaking news. I think we gotta. Is this true? Is this true? God, I hope this is not true. I need to look at Bitcoin again. Is this the future of Sailor? I don't know.
Hey, and that thing that you've seen that's saying that he was drop kicked.
Yeah,
I think it came over because he stepped down as CEO back in August.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just the executive chairman or something, and that's all he's doing is concentrating on the Bitcoin side of the house with strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hope he's okay. I think he's okay. I think he's doing great. Either way, he's going to be okay. He may lose everything because he's done it before. I posted a little trip down memory lane just in case you don't know the history of Michael Saylor. He's lost everything before on these type of bets, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. JR says BTC to 60K, bro. I called it. Woo, bro. Don't say that out loud, bro. We don't need to wish that, speak that into fruition. 60K would wreck the space. I guarantee you. So hopefully we don't see that. If that happens, then that means everything is toast. If you really think about it, so that means the stock market is toast. So let's not go there.
You would see 20-cent ADA. You'd probably see $1 XRP, 5 cents H bar. You know, 10 cents Stellar. I mean, on and on. It would be a bloodbath.
It would be bad. A lot of people will lose their proverbial doo-doo, if you will. very interesting. So that's going to round that. We got Hyperliquid. So the Bitcoin Cash up. It's Bitcoin and Zcash, even Monero. These particular ones have been relentless. They've showed a level of resilience that has been pretty phenomenal through this whole situation. Zcash, $650. These are privacy protocols. OG, Monero, $410 up across the board. Zcash up across the board. Bitcoin Cash holding solid. Very impressive. I would say very impressive of moving. But that's going to pretty much wrap that up. We're going to get into some reports here. But I have to tell you the Solana thing, that ETF, you're going to have another one too next week. LMFG, you talked about the Altcoin ETF baskets that are going to launch. I don't think they're going to launch in December. They got a lot on the front plate. But going into 2026, once we do get those, we do see the ETF action with Solana. Now, I see a lot of people being very bullish about it, but I just don't see the resilience factor. It didn't hold the floor. This thing almost went below $100. So the Altcoin ETF effect still has a lot to prove. And again, Hetera is another one that didn't do very well as well when it comes to performance. But again, we're going into this new era of altcoin ETFs, so we'll see how this goes. But, I don't know what your take on that is. Are you disappointed with the Solana ETF? Have you been tracking it? I mean, am I speaking too soon about it? Is it too early? What's your take as we move to the reports?
Yeah, I haven't been really watching it. My take of Solana.
The rigid one.
I don't pay mine too much to Solana.
We'll just have to see. Hand clap for the market. It is trying to recover, as we say. We're average when it comes to the RSI. We're average. We're not oversold or overbought, on a combined basis. But you did see an uptick in the global market cap, which got very close to 2.99 trillion globally, guys. So we were that retractment, that downward trajectory was pretty scary. So, but we're above 3.10 trillion globally, so we're doing well. ETH is still very low when it comes to the GUI transactional rate. We really need to I want to see ETH get back up. I want that GUI to get back up to 30. That's what I want to see with ETH. That's when we know we have a healthy movement. Now, the JR says, my coin on Solana, I care very much about. So that's right, JR, you got a couple of coins on Solana. Absolutely. So hopefully that goes well for you. But we're going to Bumba Clark. That's what he says. It's a rug scam. Okay. Hopefully we don't get scammed. We don't need rug scams. And maybe he's talking about Solana, and it's synonymous for rugs. It is what it is. They did land a deal, although they bought it with Western Union. So we'll see how that pilot is going as well. But that is going to be the market. Jay is laughing at that. Let's go ahead and move into these reports, man, because we got to talk about this. CZ, he wants a refund. This is something that I want to get into. And I don't know if you guys know that he's been kind of joking, but I think CZ is serious. I know Binance is serious about this refund. So here is the headline. Binance will invest everything in America only if it gets a refund after CZ pardon. Now, LMFG, before we dive into this, I think this is a very interesting situation that we have here, because I posted a couple of days ago. I think CZ has the actual Trump situation, the Trump bros, the World Liberty Finance, right? I think he has them by the balls. I really do, because it's coming out that a lot of the Binance software was used to build the foundation of World Liberty Finance. They have been helping the Trump bros privately with their endeavors. And by the way, they're going to be unleashing a wave of RWAs on this particular World Liberty Finance when it comes to the Trump real estate ventures. They're about to tokenize all that on this platform. Now, with that being said, this particular individual and Binance as well, they want a refund. And we're going to get into that. LMFG, do you think this is going to be healthy for Trump? If this even happens, even a shred of the money that was given to the Treasury, refunded back to CZ. Not only CZ, but Binance. Is that a good look?
Yeah, I don't even know how that's going to work. I mean, for one, I think it was so absurd. I think it was 4.2 billion. Binance had to pay, and CZ had to pay another billion. Something crazy like that.
Sorry about that.
The fine was just ridiculous. You know,
That was a lot.
$4 billion. Come on.
4.3. You got to add that 3 too.
Yeah, and then he had to come up with like 500 million out of his pocket.
Let's get into this, because I don't think this is a very smart move, and there are legal ways for Trump to do this. A little clemency, and then some executive orders, possibly. And it can get really ugly really quick. Now, we do know Trump does not care about what other people thinks, right? He moves very weirdly when it comes to not only these executive orders, but the thought pattern is a little unorthodox. So, you know, I could actually see him doing this, especially if CZ is involved heavily with World Liberty Finance. He does own a lot of that token. We do know that. And he was actually used for foundational purposes, and a lot of Binance software, a lot of Binance personnel was used to build this platform. So they're very heavily entrenched. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with this. So here's a subheadline: any Binance refund would face legal hurdles, political scrutiny. This is what we're talking about, and multi-agency resistance. Now, let's get into this. Now, Donald Trump's pardon of Binance founder Xiaoping Zhao, better known as CZ, removed his remaining criminal exposures. This is what pardons do, while leaving intact the more than $4.3 billion that Binance has already paid to the United States agencies, the Treasury. Now, on X, CZ treated the idea of clawing back that money back essentially as a hypothetical. He replied to the post about the refund with a delicate question, unquote. And this is what he said, quote, "If we get any refund, we will be investing all of that back into America. That is the American way," unquote. So this is what he's saying. You know, theoretically, he would invest back in America very heavily with that $4.3 billion. I think that's a load of BS, but yeah, this is what he's tweeting. Now, the line landed as a meme, as you probably already seen, guys. Although the underlying issue is concrete, whether a pro-crypto White House could unwind part of the largest enforcement package ever bought against crypto exchanges, which that was Gary Gensler, by the way, and what it would take to actually, in practice, reverse it. Now, CZ suggested that the company hasn't asked for a refund, but he isn't sure, stating, quote, "Haven't asked yet, I think, with the praying hands," unquote. LMFG. I think they're going to officially ask for this pretty soon. I do believe this is probably going to be an attempt on Binance's side, because that's a lot of money. We were talking about it. And CZ, 150 mil out of his pocket as well. It's a lot of money. Now, 4.3 billion figure isn't a single refundable pot of money. Now, here's the nuances of it on a justice level. The starting point is that the pardon is a personal matter. CZ pleaded guilty in November 2023. Here's a little trip on memory lane. Let's talk about it. On November 2023, to a Bank Secrecy Act violation, which this is what Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, said. But she was attacked by CZ, and then she put the receipts up. It clearly states here that he was found guilty in 2023 to a Bank Secrecy Act violation. He agreed to pay $50 million on the personal penalty, and he also agreed to step down. Now, he received a 4-month prison sentence as well and reported to prison in April of 2024, finishing his term in September. Now, October the 23rd, orders were granted to him for full presidential pardon by Trump for that federal conviction. It does not blame Binance, and it does not, on its face, rewrite the parallel corporate and civil statements that produced the headline $4.3 billion figure of money that was owed. And that was paid, essentially. So that's the actual backdrop of this, okay? And this is why this is even in conversation here. Now, let's continue. Those settlements are a mosaic across at least 4 agencies, according to the Justice Department. Binance agreed to forfeit about $2.5 billion and pay a criminal fine of around $1.81 billion for a total of roughly $4.316 billion in the criminal case. Now, the DOJ credited around $1.8 billion of that amount towards parallel resolutions across, which will account for Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, the Office of Foreign Assets Control, and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. They got a little bit of that as well, and imposed a 3-year compliance monitorship on Binance. So this is what we're talking about. Now, this is what a pardon can and cannot do. And I love this part of the article because a lot of people get pardons, and what pardons can do twisted and contorted. This is a constitutionally, this is what it can do. The pardon power is broad for federal crimes, but it is not an all-purpose reset button. LMFG. A lot of people think when you get pardoned, it's a wrap. Everything is wiped clean. That's not the case. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't.
A lot of people don't.
Right. Yeah. My buddy's a lawyer.
Okay. So you already know.
Yeah.
You already know. And see, this is what a lot of the actual experts are saying. Even though criminally, everything is good for you, CZ. When it comes to the monies that were already paid, you can't get that back. This is what they're saying. You can't get that back. Now, here's a little bit more about this. The United States Constitution notes that a pardon can eliminate criminal penalties for the individual's offenses, including prison time and certain unpaid fines. Certain unpaid fines. The key word is unpaid. These are already paid to the Treasury. You can't reverse that. Only the president and certain clemency laws can actually provide that route. And the president would have to really alter some things. And that's why the issues become very murky for Mr. Trump. Now, yet it does not automatically vacate a convention retroactively or nullify every consequence that follow from it, according to the legal information institution. So I'm going to read that again. Here's something that it cannot do, LMFG. This is something that I didn't know. It does not automatically vacate a conviction or retroactively nullify, guys, every consequence that followed or flowed from it. The Justice Department distinguishes pardons from other forms of clemency, including commutations, remissions of fines, and reprieve. So, man, pardons are very murky. There's holes, there's loopholes here for the legal system. Even though you get a pardon, it's really not a free ride. There's a lot of legal loopholes that the government can go through. Now, as far as rescinding and pulling this back, because I know a lot of the Dems want to do this, they want to counsel this. LMFG, maybe you can help me on this. Can a pardon be rescinded and counseled, reversed? That's something I don't know.
That I'm not positive, but I would think not. And not even another president come in, I don't think he would be able to undo a pardon.
Yeah.
Because that's a presidential order. So I think that's locked in.
Now, as far as what I've read outside of this article and what I've gathered, this is pretty much, this is an impossible situation. Barring, and I'm talking without the president, for CZ and Binance to get a refund from already paid funds. The president would have to really contort and alter some laws. It's going to take a couple of executive laws and some bending of the clemency situation, those nuances. And then there's actually, Congress there as well. And that's the pushback. Multi-agency resistance is going to come into play as well. This will be a political nightmare for Donald Trump if he was to actually move the needle on this and actually create an environment to where he can actually get his money back and Binance can get a full refund. And they're basically saying, hey, he's been cleared. He's been pardoned, right? We want the money back. I think this is a pretty interesting situation. I'm going to be following this and we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this rolls downhill. But I believe that this is probably going to stop right here. I don't think this goes any further. Do you agree this would be a political nightmare for Trump? Let's say if he did, strike the gavel and a couple of executive orders and, a push from the Republicans before midterm, some clemency contorting there and gets the money back to Binance. I think this will be a political nightmare, brother. I could be wrong.
No, it'll be more than Pocahontas doing the dance. You know what I mean? It'll come out of war.
Yeah.
Everybody will be on this big time. That's all you'll see on the multimedia. You know, on the news channels, they would run this. You wouldn't even hear about Epstein files anymore.
No, I absolutely. The emails will disappear. This would be a large piece of meat on the bone. They would gnaw. They would chew on this for the entire year.
Yeah, this would be, I think, real bad because it's already bad enough, and it's starting to die down a little bit. You know, with War Liberty Financial, they keep screaming about it, but all that was built before he was president. You know, that was in the interim there. It was built back in 2020, 22, and yeah, this would be bad.
Yeah, let's just hope this, no one takes this seriously. Just leave it alone. If I'm the president, I'm leaving this alone. I'm not even, thinking about this. I'm sorry. It's too much. Now we had Dave Portnoy had a meltdown today. Bought about $2 million of crypto because when people see this red, I believe, especially if you are rolling in the dough, as Dave is, they buy a lot of crypto, especially when there's blood, like you saw it. This is a very
now, am I eligible for this?
Very interesting. And we're going to get into this, what he said here, because I think this is very interesting. His thought patterns and the way he approached the red market with a lot of money, which he threw a lot of it. Check this out, guys.
Am I eligible for this? Because here comes the announcement. Last night, Monday, November 17th, if you want to look at what I did, here it is. I hope I'm not giving away nothing. I probably am, so I probably should. Yeah,
just for you guys, just never do this. Never do what he just did. All right. Keep your stuff private. All right. Never do that. But, I think he had a couple when he did this. But listen to this. Guy bought a lot at the deal.
Sure. 638 bought $500,000 of XRP. 637 bought 400,000 of ETH. 637 bought 750,000 of BTC. 636 bought 500 more or a reverse of XRP. So in total, last night, $1 million of XRP, 400 ETH, 750 of BTC. Blood in the streets. Dave's like a piranha. Dave's like a great white. He's just shark on fins. Oh, you know what? Let's do it. And we I know we can't clip it. We can't play music. So it's too bad. This will. See, I want to play fins, but I
think
can't
he had
play
a couple.
if they clip this because then the music companies. Anyways, fins to the left, fins to the right, BTC everywhere. So we had a crypto, a little dip in the market. I've been hold, Braveheart, hold. Last night I went. So I bought $2 million with crypto, $1 million of XRP, 750 of Bitcoin to add to my collection, and 400 of ETH. So I don't know. That's 2 million. Did I just get 2 million entries into this contest?
LMFG. I mean, the guy put $2 million in a pretty nice deal. What's your take, bro? You heard him. Was it a good buy? I mean, 2 million. Obviously, he's got the money to swim with the whales. I don't know, bro. It sounds like he kind of like did a drunk buy across the board. Had a couple of them and seen the red. I mean, this is what happens normally. Hopefully, it works out. But what's your take? If you're spending $2 million, or if you have that expendable income, and you're seeing this red, you just heard what he bought. Are you buying those particular ones, or are you going to swing somewhere else?
Yeah, I would definitely spread that out quite a bit more, But again, like you said, this guy's got look at the wine racket behind him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got no issues with money. So the thing goes to 80, he's probably going to get on there and say he put 4 million in. If you have that money's, again, like I said, this is the future of all voice data and video communication coming at us on steroids.
No, absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing. It's just taking time because these banks, they dragged their feet too long. And now they want to, they don't want it to go cut loose yet. And they see that all the retail's in here and they want to get the retail out because they're going to make the retail rich.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Especially for those of us who have been early.
Just hold, man. And you watch 5 years. You look at the big gainers, the biggest gainers are the ones you buy something and you don't cash it out for 20 years later. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at right now, I say.
No, you're right. And we talk about holdership. Obviously, I think Dave, he's not as OG as most of us and most of you guys. And if you're holding what you bought, 10 years ago, right? Especially ADA. If you bought a BNB, if you bought Solana, when it was launched, obviously ETH, obviously Bitcoin, any of the top 25, if you did buy them when they were launched and you held, and I know a lot of you didn't, right? It takes conviction. It's a skill to hold, especially these utility coins, because sometimes it goes flatline and then you get a lot of FUD, and then a lot of that FUD translates into fear-based selling. So it's a skill. It's very hard to hold, just like he was saying. And a lot of what he's doing, he's just, he's DCAing with a lot of money, mind you. But this is what creates a lot of sell pressure, because a lot of times when these guys buy on these dips, or some of them buy at the top, that creates a lot of fear for the minnows and a lot of the beneath of the shark buyers, because they're not spending $2 million. They're spending like $1,000. They're spending like $500, right? Some $100. So when they see these whales come in, it really scares them. And a lot of them have triggers set, stop losses, and limit sales set, to where when the spike, peaks, you get these spikes in these charts, they're out anyway in their sleep, because they're doing it the right way. They have these stop losses set, these limit sales set, to keep them from losing everything. So for long termers, for OG bag holders that have been holding for years, these are good times, because those triggers are being hit really hard with these big spikes. So, I mean, if you're an OG holder, you're laughing all the way to the bank, right? But if you just got in a couple of weeks ago, not so much. If you just got in a couple of months ago, you're sweating. You're sweating hard. So, but I believe if you're in something very, very solidified, just hold. Not financial advice, but that's pretty much the sentiment for a lot of OGs. They're DCAing, they're buying these dips, and they're just increasing their bags. Am I right, bro? That's the way you do it at this point in time. Just make sure.
And to me, it has nothing to do with the bags, dude. Like I said, it's the technology. It's the next version of the internet, of all voice data and video communication, with tremendous amount of robustness. I mean, these things crashing, it's not going to happen anymore once this stuff gets really running. It's the best disaster recovery system ever for peanuts, and you're doing it for peanuts instead of the data centers. I mean, I would still be into co-locations all over the country and probably all over the world, a big network. You go international. That's all you do, is you put up colos, and then you have all of these nodes running. You're never crashing. Your backup, your disaster recovery, it's just a beautiful technology.
Yeah, speaking of, the Cloudflare situation is crazy, man. I want to circle back to that, because this is, the CEO is saying this is essentially what happened here, guys. And he apologized profusely, but there's just a pretty big gap of a lot of usage that was down. So this was earlier today. CryptoSlate noticed service. Everybody noticed the service outages and things of that nature. This is a single company, because you just talked about this. I want to circle back to this. A single company outage today disrupted access to the internet service world freaking wide. And it was a mix up. They were jacking around with internals with the back end, which they shouldn't have. And they introduced a bug. Now, was it intentional? Did somebody do this intentionally? We don't know. But the global traffic came to a complete halt. Now, the CTO basically came out and said this. This is the first quote from the CTO of the Cloudflare, kerfuffle here. Quote, "I won't mince words. Earlier today, we failed our customers and the broader internet family," unquote. Now, here's a more kind of more drawn out outlook of what really happened. This is from the CTO guys. Now, full disclosure, quote, a latent bug in the service underpinning our bot mitigation capability started to crash after a routine configuration change was made. That cascaded into a broader degradation to our network and other services. This was not an attack, unquote. So they're trying to squelch the notion that it was an attack. It was some type of exploit or an intrusion. Do you believe that, LMFG? Because this is your field. This is your lane. He's saying it was a bug. It was a latent bug that was kind of, introduced in the underpinning during the migration of some sort of a bot, essentially. And it crashed the system. And when they were trying to configure this particular situation. And then obviously we know what happened next, a complete fallout. Do you believe it? Was it an attack? Do you think this was an attack? Or do you think they were just being, doofuses, configuring things, tinkering around the hood when they shouldn't have? What you take, man?
Yeah, configuration change that hasn't been true tested in model office. Whoever made that change, I guess it would be like, you're fired.
You would think so.
Changing a live network without being tested. I mean, I don't understand that,
Yeah.
You don't cut a network over unless it's tested true.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, you would think so. When I saw this, it was laughable.
This might be BS, and they actually did get hacked.
I think it was a hack.
You know what I mean? And they're just
I really do.
With this. Well, you got the big shot there, Taylor. That's the CIO talking. So
CTO, yeah.
CTO, we'll see. It'll come out. If it's not true.
Yeah, it always does.
You can't lie, man.
Yeah. I mean, we need to get this. We need some remedies. This is, this is the second time we had the AWS outage, and they blame that on a shortage of bandwidth. They have the GPU issue there, but this is different. I don't know. This is interesting. I told you guys about this. We're winding down the show here, but I want to get into this. Trump organization prepares to launch tokenized real estate investment project. And this is going to be on the World Liberty Finance platform, I believe. Now, the Trump organization says it's preparing to tokenize a new hotel development project in the Maldives. Now, the collaboration with DAR Global is basically designed to offer fractional ownership of the Trump International Hotel Maldives via digital tokens, giving investors the chance to participate in a real estate project from its basically inception, the beginning sides of it. Now, here's a couple of quotes here. The project will sit on a private island. Private island. Yeah, we don't want to go there, but let's go. Another private island institution.
A Trump island. Uh-oh.
We don't want, see, this is exactly.
Trump island. Here we go.
Is Bubba going to be there? I don't know. Hopefully Bubba. There's no Bubbas there, but I digress. So here's a quote, because obviously it's going to be a private island. It's going to be tokenized, right? This is what Trump, he loves the RWA, the tokenization of real estate. He's loving it. He's all in, right? 150 luxury villas, suites, and residences. This is what's going to be on this particular island. I don't know where the island is. It's going to be a massive development here, completely tokenized, and we're going to be able to get fractional ownership of this via the tokenization of the property. In LMFG, we talked about this a lot. This is where we're going with not only real estate, but with other commodities as well, cars, and you're gonna see a lot tokenized, IDs, things of that nature. But this right here is a big puppy. This is a big deal. What you take, even though it's on a private island, kind of weird. What you take, you'll be able to get fractional ownership. By the way, there's 2 other platforms that already do this, so this isn't new. But this is a larger scale. This is a premium RWA. What you take, bro?
Yeah, no, smart move on their part. I see it coming all over the place. And like you just said, I think it's proppy. There's 2 hotels, I think, that you can get a piece of right now. We can't get it here. I can't get it here in North Carolina. I don't know if it's blocked out of the United States, but just reading about it. Yeah, I think this is going to pop up all the way, all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to, if you have access to a World Liberty Finance, I believe you'll probably be able to have access to it. And mind you, I think you still have to be an accredited investor to even hold that coin. So it's pretty much an institution coin at this point in time. But you do not have to be accredited investor to own the Trump meme coin. Very interesting. So here's a quote here. The pioneering collaboration, which is what we're talking about, not only brings the Trump brand to one of the world's most exclusive destinations, but also introduces an unprecedented financial innovation, tokenization, and the development of a luxury, hospitable project for the first time, being tokenized. So unlike the previous models that tokenize complete assets, this initiative tokenizes the development phase itself, which is very unique, offering investors the opportunity to participate in a high-growth premium real estate project from its inception. So you're getting the early access before it's even built, before the dirt is even terraformed, before the foundation is even set. You're getting an early investment into a property that's probably going to be very lucrative. This is the tokenization, the fractional ownership. This is what's going on in Dubai. That particular situation just landed on the ledger, the XRP ledger, earlier this year. So these things are starting to pop up, LMFG. So I'm into the facilitators. The ledger is going to be a facilitator, which XRP coin is going to be used profusely when it comes to those RWAs. That's good for XRP, right? But when it comes to World Liberty Finance, I'm not sure how that's going to be used. I don't know if it's just going to be a DAO coin or if it's going to be actually used and moved in as an exchange of meeting. We don't know. But in particular, I think this is pretty unique. Now, on the same token, you have this that's coming up, and I just caught this. We just got through talking about Pocahontas. Check this out. This is along the same lines of what we're talking about here. Now, speaking of the Trump ventures, World Liberty Finance, Trump, Warren, and the crypto crossfire. Now, senators demand probe into World Liberty Finance. We just got through talking about this. Now there's an ongoing led venture by the senator, Elizabeth Warren. She wants a probe into this. And we just got through talking about what's going to be going on here with the tokenization of that particular venue, that particular island, that development. Hold the phone. We want an investigation now. This is what the senator said. We want to probe this thing to make sure everything is okay. Now, I told you CZ has connections to this. Binance has connections to World Liberty Finance. And now there's a talk of maybe refunding Binance back their money that they paid for fines and things of that nature, CZ as well. We don't know if that's true. Allegedly, this is what's going on. Now, you have this growing political storm that is brewing around the WLFI situation. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Jack Reed call for an investigation into Trump family's crypto companies over alleged ties to high-risk foreign actors. One of them is CZ, right? Is clearly, notated in this particular article. Now, WIF, which is up 7%, by the way, is one of the most prominent and controversial crypto ventures in the U.S. It is backed and operated by several members of the Trump family. The company's rapid expansion into governance tokens, stablecoins, and digital assets has also attracted national attention. Now, concerns around the token sales and potential exposure to foreign operatives have pushed the firm into a center of national security debate. So, LMFG, World Liberty Financial is a national security issue. Do you agree? I think this is far-fetched. It's a little crazy. Is it truly a national security issue? This is what the congressmen are saying. This is what the senators are saying here.
Nah, that's ridiculous, And then they're really setting themselves up for this too, because I just checked it. They're on Ethereum, Binance, Tron. They just cut over to, and just recently Solana. I guess the JR likes that, huh?
Bro, this is
that's the USD1 sitting on those 4 chains, and let's see what happens.
Absolutely.
When it comes, and through Ethereum, they can get over to the XRP ledger, because the ledger is now running a side chain, an Ethereum side chain.
Yeah,
so it's coming together slow with slow. Yes. And this, I think, is just they're just looking for shooting to anything against Trump. Yeah.
This gets deep. This rabbit hole gets deep. Wait till you hear what they're linking this to. It's a little crazy, but this is what the senators are saying out loud. This is what's going into the probe. Now, so far, there have been pay-to-play allegations regarding WLFI's role in Binance's $2 billion deal with the Emirate Fund. Afterward, Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, CZ, who had basically served 4 months in prison. We talked about that earlier. Received a pardon from President Trump as well. CZ, personal attorney, later denied the corruption allegations, and Trump told reporters, "I don't know the guy. I don't know who CZ is." I don't even know what he looks like. By the way, I think you said he actually went to Mar-a-Lago. I don't know. I don't know if he did that. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I've been hearing. Beyond Binance, Senator Warren and Reid now warn that Trump's World Liberty Financial may have sold governance tokens to wallets linked to North Korea, Russia, Iran, and the Tornado Cash devs. That is very interesting. That is very interesting. The firm holds over 22.5 billion in WLFI tokens worth more than $3 billion. Now, World Liberty Finance buyers had past blockchain ties to sanctions or illicit networks on watchdog groups, allegedly. So LMFG, this is some serious words. These are flaming words. Again, CZ comes up as well. This is a bad link, bad look for Trump. His face is all over it, even though he kind of passes it off as a trust. They're using my name and likeliness. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't know CZ, right? My sons are running it. I have nothing to do. I'm the president. It's going to be hard to shake this, especially if this probe goes any further. It's going to be hard. And if they prove any of these links, it's not good, bro. Not a good look for a sitting president.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Even if he is really all that and he's telling his sons, "I don't want to know nothing about it. You do your own thing," because that could be happening in the background. You don't know. Yeah. I doubt it. But even if it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's there. His name is there, and have a nice day. They're going to constantly go after him for it.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, Korea, Russia, yeah, from any country. Hell, your VPN, you can buy anything anywhere if you want." So, did he sell it to him? No, they came in and bought it. I don't get it.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. This was interesting too. CZ to invest DOJ refund to U.S. economy. So listen, he may not, CZ may, tell everybody, "I don't want a refund. This is not what we're doing." But is it what you're doing? Because I'm seeing all kind of information about maybe this push to get the refund. But he's saying we're just going to give it right back to the U.S. If we get the money, we're just going to give it right back to the U.S. That's a bunch of BS. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Now, I want to get to this before we get out of here because this is an interesting chart and it goes all the way back to 2018. I want to get to this right here. Now, what you're looking at, and this is the actual caption here. It says, BTC bull run is dead, obviously. I've been saying this for weeks. We've already seen the move. Next target, 35K. Now, LMFG. This is the consensus when it comes to a lot of guys right now. 35K as a bottom. Now, as you can see the trajectory here, we're going all the way back to 2018. And we're looking at trends here. 2018, 2021, where we've seen that robust move up. Pretty huge correction going into 2022. We know what that was. 2023 bottomed out at $40,000. Okay. So now we're marching up 2023 up until this point. Can you see the trend, my friend? Now, this guy is particularly calling a bottom of $35,000. Now, we talk about 80K. We talk about 50K, we talk about 70K. A $35,000 bottom going into 2026, 2027, that would be disastrous. What's your take on the trend going back to 20? I mean, it's pretty clear. But again, you know how I feel about TA. But this trend, it's ugly. It does not look good. What's your take?
Yeah, I don't see it going down that low, man. No way. Because the banks, everything's going to get in there, real world assets. I mean, can everybody just walk away from Bitcoin and just worry about all your other blue chips? You know, your Binance, your XRP, your HBAR, your Cardano, and I don't see it. I think Bitcoin's going to be there for quite some time. This is going to be your store of value when it comes to crypto. Let's hope. You know, I don't see that though, man. No way. I mean, maybe an 80 grand. And I do think whenever it does hit the bottom, you're going to see a drastic upswing.
Yeah, that's what usually happens. Yeah. But you look at the trend. You look at the upswings on all of these particular low points, and it is very violent. It's a very violent recovery upward, especially coming out of 2022. You can clearly see that very, very violent upward trend. Now, we did have ETFs that were actually approved during this time. We did have a halving, so there was some catalysts there that it kind of helped to push. And then the crypto president was elected. And we did get some crypto agendas that were actually pinned on the board. So there was a lot of bullish sentiment there. So I think that's what helped this push all the way up to 150. But I don't know. This could also go a different direction as well. So we shall see. I thought that was a very interesting output there. That output is across the board. This is what you're seeing a lot of people talking about. I'm seeing 35K. And I remember talking to Wadi a long time ago, and he always said that could be a potential low for Bitcoin as well. He used to always say that.
You brought up Sailor earlier, and here's the thing. This thing starts going, to the 85 grand. They're going to get close to being at a loss. Now imagine if the board the board comes in and says, that's it, Mike, you're out. They get rid of him, dump all the Bitcoin. They got over 500,000 of them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And they dump it. Now something like that happens, we may see something that low.
You get around 50 and 40. You're right. He's going to have to sell some Bitcoin to make up for those losses. And I know he's always saying, I'm never going to sell Bitcoin. But when he gets to that point, yes, you are, Mr. Saylor.
He'll be forced to. The board will.
Absolutely.
He's not 51% owner anymore. So
absolutely. See, and when MicroStrategies, when they start selling Bitcoin, it's going to hurt. We're going to feel that. Especially if they start selling a lot.
They'll sell it fast. Yeah, they won't, because as soon as it starts diving, they know they're going to start that big red candle.
Absolutely.
They're going to do it quick.
Absolutely. That is a great point.
It'll be a 6 hour, 8 hours, boom, done. It'll be that ugly.
No, it's a great point. Great point. Great, absolute point. Because it's going to register. Those candles are going to be it's going to be a visual nightmare for a lot of people. So when that does happen, then you're going to see BlackRock selling. Then you're going to see Grayscale. You're going to see a lot of those ETFs bleeding. And then fear is going to take place. So and then maybe 35K, right? I think we need this correction, but that is to be determined. But I thought that was very interesting. The chart looks pretty feasible for me, pretty clear on the trend and the upward trend. Where do we go from 35 though? Dave says 250,000. That would be a robust trend. I'm going to tell you this as we move to the actual giveaway. If Bitcoin gets that low, I'm definitely going to become a buyer again. Most definitely. I don't know about you guys, but that's just me. I will become a buyer 100%. Once again.
Yeah, man.
Because you know where it's going after that. You know where it's going. Look at how much money they're about to print. So sooner or later, everybody's going to run to it. And if we get a hyperinflationary pattern, which we will once the money printers come back on, everybody's running to Bitcoin. The whole world, all the governments, they're going to run to Bitcoin just to get away from the dollar, just to get away from fiat, because every country is printing. You heard what Arthur Hayes said earlier. Every country is about to print fiat into oblivion. What happens next? That's where you're going to get Bitcoin going up to around $500,000. Now, what happens when all these fiats crash? That is the question. What happens to Bitcoin and crypto when everything crashes on the fiat level? What do you pair these to? Where do these stable coins go? Right? When fiat crashes, because they're pegged to these dollars. or the universal currency, which is the dollar. Now, that's an unprecedented situation. It'll be an unprecedented moment to see the reserve currency fall. But I think we're living in those times. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this giveaway. We do this giveaway every week before we close the show out. We have entries. I did do a double check. I got everybody on there. We're going to get 3 winners. And if you do win, you're going to get a bag of Sol from me. And all I need is that Solana wallet. Let's go. It's a real nice spin too. Let's see what we got. By the way, Bitcoin is hovering at around 93K, doing pretty good. The sentiment is neutral, and I think it's Mac Yank 5999 is going to, I believe so. Yeah. So we have Mac Yank 5999 is going to be the first winner. Just don't forget to pass me that Sol address so I can give you a prize, brother. We need 2 more. Let's go. I think I can call this Bebo. It was almost Bebo Crypto 111. So it looks like Wanderer 882. Wanderer 8822. I'm sorry. You are the second winner. Let's get one more. Let's see if we can get somebody new, somebody fresh that I haven't seen before. And I think we're going to get Suzu 15,000. No, Steve Hawk. Steve Hawk E5P is the last winner. So this is very interesting. So we have, let's go and do a recap on this particular situation. Mac Yank 5999 is going to be the first winner. Hand clap to you, bro. Number 2 is going to be Wanderer 8822. Hand clap to you. And just to round it off, the winners group, it's going to be Steve Hawk E5P. Let's go. 3 winners. All I need is a Sol address, guys. Don't forget to get that to me. And I usually, if I don't get the addresses within a 3-day period, we reset the actual giveaway. And I don't think I ever said that, but remember, you got a 3-day window to give me your address so you can get your prize, your Solana. And that's where that ends right there, guys. So LMFG, as we take a little trip back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trying to get back to 94. What's your take on this, bro? Well, hold on. Let me check something real quick, guys. So we did, again, stock market bleeding profusely across the board. European indices, Asian and Pacific indices all in the red. Futures are in the red. Dow Jones is still in the red here. No breathing room in the market. So the market is really reacting to the tech sector, which the Magnificent Seven, minus Google, still bleeding, right? So that translates to weird activity in the crypto space as well. What's your take on Bitcoin? Up 2% within a 24-hour period. I think it's just a dead cat bounce. We're going back below 90. What's your take, bro?
Yeah, I think same. Dead cat bounce here. I tell you, man, I would just love to have been on a fly on the wall, though, with last week dinner with, JP Morgan, Stanley, BlackRock, NASDAQ, Goldman Sachs, the New York Stock Exchange, Citadel, Kravis Roberts. I mean, on and on. Those guys all met with Trump last week, and nothing's been said. So they all had dinner with Trump last week. What's going on?
What is going on? The commercial said that when it comes to those defaults, the banks need help. They need help. And that's going to register to the negative going into the next year. If they don't, some of them are going to need bailouts, LMFG. And I don't think they're going to get those bailouts. I don't think they're going to, got a 50-year mortgage proposal. That doesn't look like a bailout to me, right? I think that's all they're going to give them is the 50-year mortgage, which is preposterous, which is ridiculous. A lot of those are going to be subprime buyers, and they're going to get 8% probably minimum on those interest rates. So that's not going to help the bank. So I think the only thing that can help the banks is allowing the banks to actually deal in crypto, like we've seen with SoFi. Allow them to generate fees that are outside of the normal, essentially. Allow them to partake into decentralized finance, bring those actual APIs into the real world institutions. Use Chainlink, properly, and I think that'll help them. Tokenize a lot of these properties that they own. Maybe they can move them around the world instead of inside the states. I don't know. I'm just talking, but they do need help, guys, and this is going to hit us hard. We're not going to get a stimulus in the fourth quarter. Trump actually announced that those dividends are going to come out really close to midterms. And LFFG, is that being strategic? I think that's a bad idea. I think they should stimulate the fourth quarter and then roll into the midterms. I think there will be a better look. Rolling these things out prior to the midterms, I think that's a bad roll of the die, but I could be wrong. I don't know. What you think before we leave out here? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you're trying to buy your way in. You know what I mean? Everybody all happy right before. Hey, you got gas now. Go vote. Go vote for me.
Yeah. Well, he's making coffee cheaper. Yeah. He made beef cheaper. No more $200 brisket. So apparently, allegedly, beef is cheaper. So I don't know. Keep your eye on what's going on with Bitcoin, and definitely watch the stock market, because I got to tell you, the way it's looking, overnight, you're going to see Bitcoin dip below 90K once again. So don't get caught up in this little pump, right? Don't throw all your money into one basket as well. Diversify and consolidate in some stable coins to get you some yield. If you're kind of, squeamish and you're scared, why not go into some USDC and get some 4.5% yield and just wait this tide out. Wait and see what's going to happen next year. I don't know. That's what I'm doing. And, I'm going to leave it at that. Have a good one. We'll catch you on the next show.